Good morning, natural gas. It's Tuesday, May the 19th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And today for the spot June contract, we're higher. We're currently trading at 3.078, up 5.4 cents or 1.79%. And as you can see, we're still clearly above the 13 and 48 period exponential moving averages. The RSI still to the upside. Storage expectations for Thursday, plus 90 to 95 BCF. That compares to last year's plus 119 and the 5-year average of plus 92. So it looks just like what we had last week. We're going to be bullish relative to last year, neutral relative to the 5-year average. Let's turn to the hourly chart, and we're currently kicking to the high side here. We're up to the third resistance level in the pivot system at 308.5, currently trading at 308.20. So right now the RSI still to the upside, which means we're probably going to kick out a little bit above this and see if we settle in. There's 309 right now as we're talking here. We're getting some more short covering here on this heat and power related rally. So let's turn to LNG. And LNG, as you can see, this is the Strait of Hormuz. Basically, nothing is still moving through the Strait of Hormuz. There is nothing loading at Ras Laffan, although last night, Wood Mackenzie is saying that there is a heat signature on train 2 in the south section of the Ras Laffan. So that's the area where train 4 and train 6 were hit, but we're seeing a heat signature on train 2, which was not damaged. So that's good news for Qatar. And let's turn to LNG. And this is Trans-Cameron Pipeline here. This is feeding Calcasieu Pass here. And as you can see right now, this is running at it's running to right now at 1.5 out of 2.125 BCF a day. So still some room here. There was some dredging going on outside of this particular terminal. Let's take a look at Corpus Christi LNG, and currently right now running about 2.5 BCF out of 2.75. So this is also good news here. And how about Golden Pass? Well, it bumped up just a little bit. We're up to 22,000 MMBTUs out of 800 to 850,000 for train 1 full capacity. And our LNG tanker, the first one that loaded up and discharged into Belgium, is now off the coast of Florida. So let's take a look at the Gator Express. This is Plaquemines LNG, and as you can see, it's running at 3.961 out of 3.94 total capacity. That's right, it's running over nameplate capacity. So they're trying to push out as much LNG as possible. How about the front to back spreads? This is the Jan versus the October spread. And again, it's broken down from this channel formation and is heading toward our first target, which is 125. The RSI continues to be in the sell mode, but it is approaching oversold condition. Right now, we're currently trading at 1305, down 2.6 cents. So let's take a look at the Novi through March strip. And as we talked about, this is what's called convergence. That means the RSI is moving upward, even as price has been moving downward. So in theory, they would converge in space. And currently right now for the Novi through March strip, we're up 3 cents here to 394.20. Let's take a look at the weather. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, above normal for the upper Midwest, above for southern Florida, but near normal for West Texas. We're continuing to get rain here in Houston, and that will continue all the way through for the next 10 days. So let's take a look at what happened yesterday. And this is the temperature anomaly for yesterday. And it was summer-like temperatures from Wisconsin all the way back over toward Boston and New Jersey, down to Virginia, and power prices spiked on that move. And oops, going back here, let's get out of that for a second. Sorry about that. Here's what we're seeing here. That warm temperature will start to move offshore in the next day or so. And then we start building up the heat once again from the west and from the south. And that pushes back up into the northeast and in mid-Atlantic states. As you can see, this temperature anomalies are actually up into Canada. But look at this. It's all the way here down from Florida up to Wisconsin, back over here. This is on the 28th. Continuing forward here, we're looking at These temperatures continuing to push warmer temperatures in the west here. And again, there comes some cold weather trying to kick it back out. But overall, this looks like a warming pattern here. Again, we have major drought in the south and east. And let's take a look at that heat risk. There's some of that lingering heat risk all the way back from Virginia up to Boston yesterday and parts of southern Texas and southern Louisiana. This moderates here as we go through the cycle, as you can see here, but the West continues to stay fairly much more on the minor heat risk. The South is starting to see some moderate heat risk as well. That continues to linger all the way through May 25th. But as you can see, much of the country is in some minor heat risk. So summer is coming. And here's the power prices. This is from ERCOT here. Spiked this morning. Why? Because we didn't have solar with the rain. And looks like it's only going to top out here around $50 today, but it actually exceeded that first thing this morning. PJM yesterday over 2,000, I believe over $2,500 per megawatt hour. And today is expected to top out around $400. MISO also yesterday pushing over $800, expected to be $80 today. So much more moderate power prices across the grid. This is for Ontario here. They did spike this morning all the way up to about $250. But moderate weather right now is resulting in lower power prices. How about Europe? Let's take a look at Europe. It's a little cool right now, but guess what? Here comes the heat, and it comes in starting on the 22nd into the Iberian Peninsula, into the Isles, UK, and Ireland. And as you can see, it gets warmer and warmer still as we move through the forecast period here. We're starting to see some very much above normal temperatures here all the way back into Scandinavia. So Western Europe, warm. Eastern Europe is slightly cooler. So this looks like it moderates a little bit toward June the 2nd, but overall, summer is starting to knock on everybody's door. How about storage? Well, it's 36.6% full across the EU. As you can see, the injections are light according to the historicals. So we're right actually at a new minimum right now for injections in the EU. So we've got a long way to go for some of these countries. Better get going soon. Hopefully this Iran war will end soon. How about Asia? Well, it looks like this is a mixed picture here. We got some warmer temperatures starting to show up before some cooler air starts to push that back out. But it looks like it's starting to get warmer still here again. As you can see, warmer temperatures building to the west of China, pushing into Tibet, Mongolia, and keeping temperatures a little cool across the coast. But here's that warmth coming in behind it yet again. How about the U.S. nuclear fleet? Well, we're down to 9.4 gigawatts that are offline. Fermi is back down to 100% offline at this time. And again, we're waiting news from Palisades in Michigan to finally recommission. How about the Saharan air layer? Well, again, more of that dust is pushing off the coast and into the mid-Atlantic. And you can see that first plume was pushing into now Belize. The wind patterns have started to change. They're pushing more away from South America and more toward Central America, and then up in toward Texas later in the season. How about the earthquakes? Well, we did have a big one here a couple days ago, 4 days ago in Japan, northeast Japan. We're going to keep a careful eye on it because we've gotten these earthquake clusters here for now weeks, and we've got to be very careful about their fleet of nuclear power plants. And here's our stocks. The oil and gas E&P sector, stocks between $2 and $10 billion, have a high short float over 10%. And as you can see, it's a bit of sea of green today. CRK up the most, up 2.25%. And behind me, CNX up 1.18%. So again, recapping here for the spot June contract, we're currently trading at 308.1, up 5.7 cents or 1.88%. Again, remember, storage is this Thursday, expectations plus 90 to plus 95 BCF. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.